Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job. Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grotto offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grotto Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Don't wait for Lincoln's fireworks stands to open up. Get the good stuff at Roca Crazy Cracker in downtown Roca. Stop in from June 25th through July 4th for the hot spot for rockets and more this Independence Day. Open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. It's Roca Crazy Cracker Fireworks in downtown Roca.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Welcome to it. It is On the Block coming at you live from Haymarket Park here in beautiful downtown Lincoln, Nebraska. Austin Norman and Eric Strickland with you here for On the Block, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. A special thank you to our host for the afternoon, the Lincoln Salt Dogs. We got a whole crew of folks getting ready to take swings down there. DP is doing what he can. That is dry hacks there on the dirt near the on-deck circle. He mentioned it during one-on-one, and we might need to remind him, DP, it's not worth it. It might be fun, but it's not going to be worth it. Got Rudy down there getting ready to swing. We've heard mighty tales of Rudy's baseball exploits. Curious to see how our resident college baseball player does. Trip from Computer Hardware. And then, of course, Tricky, one of our favorites, Uncle Kevin Meyer and Mrs. Kevin Meyer down there. What are you expecting from Uncle Kev in the box today?
Well, as Uncle Kev said, I think he's going to work up the middle and then work oppo, get a nice little flow going, and then at some point he's going to change that around. He said he's going to start hacking. It's working into his favor, being that I assume he's a right-handed hitter.
He is, yes.
So the wind is kind of working, in his favor right now today. It definitely wouldn't be working for Stricky if I decided to go down there and do something. It's
You're a gap-to-gap guy, though.
Man,
He's not hurting you.
But it depends on what they do. Are they gonna bring the machine out and let that whip the ball around at you, or are they gonna get somebody tossing it? That's gonna be the difference maker as to if I decide to go. I probably won't today.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I'm actually headed to a wedding rehearsal after that. That's my excuse. Got to stay looking somewhat prim and proper, not completely sweat through my shirt. I did bring a change of outfits, but I don't want to be all sticky, gross, and sweaty for the rehearsal coming up. I will say, Strick, when I think about just taking BP, number one, a lot of great memories with my dad, with my brothers, just before games, teammates obviously hanging around, getting your warm-up hacks in. But to me, there are few things more impressive in a warm-up routine than, legitimate batting practice power, right? Obviously, you want it to translate to games, but dudes are throwing, 95 plus at you. All you got to do, obviously, is, doing a lot of work there. Square it up. It's going to go a ways, even with a wood bat. But to see dudes who can take, 65 to 70 mile an hour pitching in BP, where they're just kind of going through the motions, trying to figure out what feels good, what doesn't, having BP power where you can still put on, a bit of a laser show, hit the ball over the wall. That's almost as impressive, if not more impressive to me than some of the stuff like Steph and Luka or even Casey would do during basketball warmups.
Yeah, like I can remember back in the days when I used to take BP. I definitely would work. One of the things I would work on is definitely getting the hand through the zone pretty swiftly. But then waiting back on that back foot and just allowing the ball to travel a little bit longer. But I definitely wanted to keep it on a rope. A lot of the things I wanted to do is how can I guide this ball, whether it be straight back up the middle, maybe over a shortstop or in between the gap of the shortstop and the third baseman. And definitely maybe hitting something opposite in a deep gap between the right fielder and the left fielder and the center fielder. And then once you kind of get a nice rhythm, a nice flow, then, you would go at it and take some hacks at it. You definitely want to look at balls getting up in the zone a little bit. You want to be able to punish those, similar to what you would do with a changeup, a missed curve. So you would use BP in that instance, as if staying back just enough and getting the ball through the zone after you've figured out what your swing planes are looking like.
How big of an emphasis was it for you, for the Marlins organization, while you were playing minor league ball? How much of an emphasis was swing plane, bat speed, launch angle versus here's how you square it up, here are the raw mechanics of your swing?
Well, we didn't have the analytics in that depth as far as launch angles and video that was taking a look at that. Definitely the batting coach would be behind you. He would be checking out if you're getting out ahead of yourself, if you're not balanced in your swing, if you're chopping, if you're looping, different things like that can slow your bat speed down. So those are things that they would watch, and you definitely want to come down at the angle, which would create that spin. And there's something to that. But yeah, for the most part, we didn't really have a lot of the technology and the analytics that they have today.
Take me through the sweet lefty Ken Griffey Jr.-esque swing of Eric Strickland. What came natural to you in the batter's box, and what were those points you had to make sure you emphasized to yourself to not get out of rhythm?
Well, again, for me, I knew who I was. I was a line drive hitter. I didn't have a huge arc or that pretty Ken Griffey Jr. swing.
I just gave you credit for it, though.
I appreciate it. I didn't have it. But so for me, if balls were coming and jumping off the bat really well and staying pretty low. So like for me, if I hit normal home runs, they would go out quickly. They wouldn't be the bombs,
majestic, towering,
where you just stand there and just be like, yeah. Sometimes I would hit them and I would be on a sprint because I was a good double, triple type guy. I would go after them. And so I was watching film today on Eli De La Cruz, man, and just some of his highlights and just how fast he gets out of the box and gets down that line, and he's a double, triple maniac, man. And that's really what I wanted to be. I didn't necessarily want to be a bomb hitter. I wanted to be a guy that can hit in the gaps and go and get extra bases.
Looks like we got Steve Taylor rolling up for BP as well. We will keep you posted on how all our BP participants do throughout the course of the show. 402-464-5685. We got Eric already hitting you with the pause, Stricky. So that's very nice of him, very kind of him to do. What would be very kind of you to do is check out the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, special ingredient butcher shop with 3 Lincoln locations and 1 up in Omaha. You can view their selection online at themercadobutcher.com. Again, there are 3 Lincoln locations, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and 85th and Old Cheney. And then up in Omaha, you can stop by 168th and Maple. Indeed. Rudy and I were talking about this a little bit off air. Really excited to watch him take some swings. Rudy's a first base DH type. He knows that that's his body type, right? That's a big dude. That is a rocked up, fire plug of a guy. But he even said for himself, he's that high average kind of Billy Butler singles and doubles hitter for Royals fans who must remember Country Breakfast, Billy Butler. And he and I were talking about that too, Stricky, how obviously the bigger you are, the more muscles you have, the longer your arms are, the more leverage you're going to have to impact the baseball and make it go pretty far. But I feel like in the last 5-10 years, we've really seen that emphasis switch to how fast can you swing the bat? How fast can you get your hands to the zone and through the zone, which is where you get a guy like Jose Altuve, right? All 5 foot, 6'7" of him, whatever he is, able to pretty consistently drive the ball out of the ballpark and not just as a hitter at what was once Minute Maid Park over the short left field wall. Is there anything like bat speed, right? That's that important that maybe in basketball people don't think about being that important when it comes to the mechanics of being a basketball player?
Let me make sure I hear the question. Say that the last part of that question real quick again.
So bat speed is really what's most important for hitters in baseball. Is there an aspect of a shot for a basketball player that maybe goes underemphasized, but is as important maybe as bat speed?
Yeah, it's definitely the consistency. It's very similar in baseball, meaning getting to the shot pocket, no matter where the ball is past you, below your leg, below your hips and waist, to the right or to the left, high, whatever it is, the quicker you can get it to that shot pocket, whatever it is for you, whether it be right hand or left hand, and without as much motion. So meaning boom,
efficiency
boom,
of motion.
Boom, 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 high here, release. You know what I mean? It's similar in baseball because obviously your plane is what you want. So that means if there's anything low, if there's anything that surprises you, if there's a fastball high, yes, it looks inviting, but the discipline of it is similar to getting it to the shot pocket, is where you have to lay off of that. And so there's where it's important, because obviously your swing planes will then create, you will be able to see it, whether it's a slider, whether it's a changeup. You'll be able to hold with discipline and keep it within the plane of how you drop your hands into the zone.
Nick Sainer just walked in. If Nick has a moment and wants to step on the air as we're talking baseball. No, he's saying no. All right, that's all right. We'll have this conversation then at a later date. When you think about those really good shooters in the NBA today, Strick, that's what you think about, right? That they can make it from all sorts of funky angles with all sorts of, dribble moves before it. But then I think, to your point, what goes underemphasized is that no matter what the lead up to the shot looks like, 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, 999 out of 1,000, when they get into their jump shot motion, it's all from the same spot or a very similar spot. No 2 throws, no 2 swings, no 2 jump shots are ever exactly the same. But I think, if I'm understanding you correctly, so much of this is muscle memory. You've trained it so much. You know what you're doing intuitively as a professional athlete. In the case of the Salt Ducks here, semi-professional athletes. You've done this enough times. You don't need to overthink it. The key is getting your body, your kind of kinetic rhythm, your kinetic chain to that point of, yep, this is where muscle memory kicks in. I'm good to go.
Yeah, that's you basically said it in a nutshell. And then when you get into a slump, it's then getting back to the basics. Same thing. Those are the common things. There are things that you're probably doing, leaning back, shooting on the way down is very similar to if you get into a slump. You're topping the ball, you're over the top, you're chopping, similar to golf. There's a lot of things that are consistent. Golf is the same thing. If you come over the top and you chop, you're probably going to slice. But if you stay true, stay back, get down through it, you'll probably hit a good ball. And it's very similar to that in basketball. When you get into a slump, you got to go back to the basics and just start working on, and that's where they'll probably take you and do underhand toss.
Sure.
And that works on just kind of dropping that hat back to the ball consistently.
Hands to the ball, short to it, long through it. Really good baseball discussion going on here. I do have to say, I want to give a personal shout out to the Lincoln Salt Dogs. Just a few weekends ago now, I think it was on June 7th, I want to say. Oh, and there's Farley. We do get to see Farley swing. We were hoping that'd be the case. Brought little man out to, I think, his second baseball game of his life, first time here at Haymarket Park, and he had a blast. Didn't sit still very much. We had fantastic seats down there, just slightly on this first base side of home plate. But he got to the baseball stadium, knew exactly what it was. One of his favorite books is Baseball Baby. We read that multiple times a day, certainly multiple times a week, if not every day. He loved it. So I'm going to give a huge shout out to the Salt Dogs for being welcoming and inviting for families, right, with young kids. There were quite a few in our section as well. I'll give you one guess. Yeah, go for it.
I have to agree. I think it's a great family environment, whether you're in the suite or whether you're in the stands. Great places to be able to still observe the game here, even if you got kids. You can take them out to a little playground out in right field. If you like to potentially catch balls, you have the Pepsi home run terrace. It's a good view out there. Great food options as well. It's really for the price that obviously. Think about having to go to Memorial Stadium sometimes where the price can get up there depending on what game they're playing. It is a good atmosphere when the weather is right and it feels really good, especially if you get a good seat. If you want your tan, you get in the sun. So it's a good environment for that.
It really is. Little man enjoyed watching the game for a time, but like any kid who's not quite 2 years old, had some energy to run off. So we walked down the first baseline, got us some food. He loved the pizza. He loved the hot dog that he had as well. So shout out to the great concession staff here and the French fries, of course. Really love that. And then he spent probably half an hour, 45 minutes over there on the playground, running off some of that energy. It was a really great, fantastic experience. So a big thank you to the Lincoln Salt Dogs for that. Always so inviting, so welcoming, as they are, here today. And Stricky, it does look like this is going to be live BP. Looks like we're going to have someone throwing. If I had to guess.
No,
you think?
He's got the look over by DP. He's got the
Oh, does he have the gun?
They got the gun.
Oh, I didn't see it from my angle.
Yeah.
No.
He's got it face down and he's got the extension cord, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be the gun.
We picked a good day to be up here in the radio booth
That's
instead.
A fact.
That we did. It is toasty in Lincoln. It's going to be a beautiful night for a baseball game. The little bit of breeze that we got with the door propped open feels absolutely fantastic. Let's go ahead and we'll take a little bit of an early break here during On the Block. No 6 to 9 a.m. show, pun intended there. We talked yesterday, Strick, about the worst case scenario for Nebraska and what that might look like. With some other stuff going on Thursday, some basketball discussion. We didn't get to the best case scenario for Nebraska. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we get back, we'll give you the best case scenario for Nebraska. Some of it according to CBS Sports, more of it according to Eric Strickland and Austin Norman. We got Ellie back there on the board. Appreciate her holding down the fort this afternoon. We'll be back to Haymarket Park live ahead of BP with DP here on The Ticket.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick the time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Hopefully you and I agree that you should do everything you can to save your marriage. Divorce is hard, expensive, and its outcome is usually not all you hope for. However, when doing everything has failed, when divorce remains as your last option, consider Cordell & Cordell as your first choice to help you through the divorce process to a better place on the other side. We've been a partner men can count on for more than 30 years. Let us be that partner for you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 402-858-3220. That's 402-858-3220. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln. 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska 68508.
Hey guys, you have heard about the Farrell's 10-week challenge for years on the ticket. If you still haven't joined us for this amazing challenge, what are you waiting for? You could be our next $1,000 winner like Derek, who just lost 30 pounds, 23 inches, and 8% body fat. Derek changed his life in the 10-week challenge, and so can you. Farrell's combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to get you the results you have been waiting for. Join us July 12th for the Summer 10-Week Challenge. Go to fxblincoln.com to enroll today.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Is your child 7 to 8 years old and wanting to get involved in competitive baseball or softball? The Nebraska Dominators have been active in the youth sports community since 1994 and are currently holding tryouts for their 7U and 8U baseball and softball teams. Visit the Nebraska Dominators Facebook page for more info today and provide your player the path to a successful and enjoyable youth sports experience with the help of the Nebraska Dominators.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grotto offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grotto Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Lincoln's new craft cocktail lounge is Bar 48 in Lincoln. Located at 2639 North 48th Street, Bar 48 offers everything from cocktails to beer to wine and so much more. With summer right around the corner, you can always enjoy Bar 48's frozen beverages. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on their live music performances every Saturday night. Make plans to visit Bar 48 on North 48th Street in the heart of the University Place neighborhood today.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone and Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln with more exciting news for area car buyers.
Charlie, it's just announced that Honda of Lincoln has won 3 of the Lincoln Journal-Star's Lincoln Choice Awards: Best New Car Dealer, Best Auto Repair, and Best Place to Get Your Oil Changed.
Wow, that's great, Andy. Anything else?
Yes, we were runner-up for Best Pre-Owned Dealer and Best Tire Dealer. A lot of people don't understand that we do sell tires here.
Very exciting, Andy. Why do you think your dealership is winning so many awards?
Charlie, we simply say it's the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business.
Looks like Honda of Lincoln is the great news headquarters for Lincoln.
Yes, and even all of Nebraska, we are also announcing that Honda of Lincoln's the only dealer in the state of Nebraska to win the prestigious Honda President's Award for 2024.
Honda of Lincoln, Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Not the first round our boy Rudy was looking for down there, but credit to him for stepping in the box. He'll get another crack at it here before too long. Shout out Rudy for that. This is On the Block. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland with you. Oh, Stricky, who's striding to the plate now?
Looks like T-Far.
The black shirt.
And they got Tricky Nicky's
oh.
down there. He looked like he might do
Oh,
something.
no, Nick's not swinging. Not dressed like that. Not with a fresh cut. Absolutely not.
Oh,
Farley, lower half.
Farley.
Oh, my gosh. Engage the lower half, my friend.
Oh.
Stricky, those feet are planted.
Oh. He definitely wasn't planted when he was blitzing off of blitzing out of the linebacker position. There are a lot more movement in them doggone legs.
Oh, now we're taking pitches. Jeez, Farley.
Yeah, this is pretty good though. It's hey,
contact.
Little contact out of Farley. Good stuff, man.
He's got that back shoulder dropped pretty far. Oh, hands to it.
Okay.
Probably a ground out, but that's at least solid contact. All right, Farley. We'll see it one more, and then we'll get to business here. Let's see him make contact once more. Come on. Bright yellow batting gloves as well. Let's go, Farley. Bucket hat and all.
Okay. That's with a little speed.
Okay.
Farley, that might get there.
Okay, Farley. We see you. We will keep giving you updates on how batting practice is going or not going for our ticket comrades down there. Cubsker says, let's go black shirt.
Drop.
Is that down?
That's a dropper.
Okay, T-Far. All right. He's on the board. Shout out Farley for that. Stricky, we talked yesterday about Husker football, the worst case scenario for them, according to CBS Sports. Let's talk for the next 15, 20 minutes or so about the best case scenario for Husker football. Here's what CBS Sports has to say. After nearly 15 years of hoping Nebraska is back, Nebraska is finally back. Dylan Raiola takes a huge step forward in his sophomore season, playing so well that the world begins to wonder if Patrick Mahomes should start to mimic him instead. The transfers and incoming freshmen give the Huskers one of the best receiving cores in the league, and the loss of Tony White on defense isn't felt. Nebraska's only loss comes on the road to Penn State after a 10-0 start, and the Huskers make their first trip to the Big Ten Championship since 2012. The only downside is that after the season, Dana Holgorsen leaves to take the head coaching job at Oklahoma State. 11-1 as the best case scenario for Nebraska football. You buying? You selling? Do you think it's plausible? Where are you at with that?
I think that would require a huge leap. That would require a Mahomes-ish.
Oh, Uncle Kev with the best stroke of the day so far.
Yeah, that would require a Mahomes-ish type of early start in his pro career.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you hate to say that, but it's definitely going to require a huge leap. Now, that's going to put the onus on Dylan because Kevin dropped one in. That's a knock. That's a knock.
He's calling it quits there. He's good for the day.
He said he was going to end on a good knock, so that was good. But it would require him to take a lot of lessons on what he learned.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I didn't like that I would hope to see better this year, which would give me a little bit more of a good feeling about the prospects of them, moving up the ladder in the win column, is his body language. For me, when things went bad, his body language was really off. And as a leader, you still want to be inspiring. You still want to be uplifting. You still want to be encouraging. You still want to go and talk to specific areas that you may. So in essence, similar to a point guard, if you're seeing things happen out there and you're like, hey, man, you're not taking advantage of, running off the screen. You want to go have a conversation with this guy. They're playing you underneath, maybe flare a little bit off of that screen a little bit more. I'm going to find you in the corner, having similar to that. Oh, look, man, it looks like the safety is over top. When we run that dig, be looking, I'm probably going to be able to find you because they're kind of
how they're playing it.
Yeah. But what happens if you get caught in your head and you get frustrated, those conversations you're having internally or personally, as opposed to with how can we improve and make the next series or the next quarter or the next half better.
What do you think led to what you view as Dylan Raiola's body language? Do you think that's just a young guy being a young guy? Do you think that's a guy with a lot of pressure on himself, internalizing it instead of having those discussions? Do you think it's maybe not quite being ready for the stage as the leader of a team and taking that onus on himself? What do you think led to how you viewed Dylan Raiola's body language last season?
I think what happens is, one, you come in with a high level of confidence. The speed of the game is going to change. The windows are going to close quicker. When you're playing in a perennial high school team, you're probably going to have a matchup or two that are going to be better than most people that you play. And even at the best of the teams that you're going to play, you might have a good corner and a good safety. You might have a marginal. It's very rare that you're going to have a secondary with a linebacking core that's going to be able to be all over the place. So
as opposed to these are the dudes that were the best at their high school.
Right.
Almost assuredly.
Right. So now when you step up, you get early success like he did, but then you get knocked off of your high horse against an Illinois team where the expectations at home were you to really, and then it's, you have those moments similar to when you get that last shot or those free throws that could have sealed it. You have the drive. This is what every quarterback every quarterback or every pitcher, every relief pitcher, they love to come in where the situation's not against them and they shut it down, right? Those are the same type of things, similar as like a goal kick. Like you're the last guy in the goal kick when it's tied.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying? He had that opportunity with that drive, and and you throw an interception or you don't.
You miss Lindenmeyer by 3 inches.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It can play with you a little bit, and so then there can be some, and it's getting off of that, learning from that, and now winning more of those opportunities when they present themselves than you do in the loss, and it'll continue to build your confidence.
Let's go through some of what CBS Sports had to say here. First, the transfers and incoming freshmen give the Huskers one of the best receiving cores in the league. I mean,
Nick.
Tricky Nicky did take swings. I mean, that's an F9, but it's a decent piece.
Yeah.
Decent piece.
Oh, he's out early
toward
on
the gap.
Yes, it might get
probably
down.
maybe depending on how deep they're playing him.
Yeah,
that's an F2 right there. But transfers and young wide receiver strike, I think that's probably a base knock, right, from Tricky Nicky?
Yeah.
Probably. Here's Rudy again for his second round. Hat came off this time. Dane Key, right, getting a lot of headlines. Nebraska's highest rated player in the College Football 26 video game. We have an Isaiah Hunter coming over from Cal. Year 2 for Ja'Cory Barney Jr. and then a whole host of freshmen.
Like that. Now they've got a connection potentially that you can hopefully build off of. Yeah, they've been together. Yeah,
I tend to agree. It would be weird to think about Nebraska, of all places, having one of the best receiving cores in the league. Not like Nebraska hasn't had good receivers before, but we still don't think of Nebraska as that passing school necessarily. It's had its moments up and down, but I still don't think that that's fully ingrained in the mind and the identity of what this program is or wants to be under, Husker fans' minds necessarily. I think that's a big piece of it. How many of the transfers hit? When you look at this Nebraska receiving core, regardless of who the names are, how many solid receivers, how many playable receivers do you think Nebraska has to have for the passing game to have success?
Well, I think they want. I look. Last year, I thought they were fine. My issue with them was attacking the ball. There's times where Nair was not going up and housing the ball like you probably should with that type of size. There are times where there were some opportunities that you dropped the ball. I think
Okay, Rudy.
I think they have a good balance. I think they're probably a little bit better than the last group. Nayar definitely had speed to take you over the top, but I think they've got a good balance of that. I think Ja'Cory can get over. He can stretch it out a little bit. We'll see what the tight end group looks like. But to me, the real importance is going to be in the run game. You know, Emmett Johnson led. You know, hopefully you can get Emmett close to 1,000 yards. If you can get that and you can become a really good misdirection with some screens and throwing different wrinkles in there with some good play action, I think that's going to help Dylan Raiola to not put the pressure on himself to have to try to thread needles and it to me
perfect.
They didn't really get a lot of separation. Hopefully the group this year will be able to have good footwork to get separation, which could help as well.
And I don't think that Dane Key is going to be that huge separation guy necessarily. I think he's in the Jamal Banks mold, but Isaiah Hunter with the speed, right? Can he consistently win early in routes, unlike Isaiah Nair? You know, Ja'Cory Barney Jr., what does that look like for him? You know, Cortez Mills is getting a lot of hype. Isaiah Mosey coming in from the Kansas City area, former Oregon commit who followed his dad to Nebraska. You think about Quinn Clark, who's been on the roster. What does it hold for Janiron Bonner? There's a lot of guys. There are a lot of names that we know, but playing off of that, Strick, that seems like a lot of mouths to feed. A lot of guys that this offensive staff wants to get the ball to. That's going to come down to defense, right? That's been a top 15, top 25 unit in a lot of statistical categories the last couple of years. Has not improved in the turnover category, right? Not forcing a whole bunch of them. Sacks were about national average-ish, maybe slightly above. It's one thing to say, yes, Nebraska has a bunch of these playmakers on offense that need or deserve the ball, but Nebraska's issue has been really more than anything the number of snaps available because the defense doesn't get off the field on third down consistently and doesn't create a whole bunch of extra possessions for Nebraska through turnovers, right, for creating possessions for the offense. I'm a little down on the defense this year because they lost so much of that top talent and because I just don't know what to expect from John Butler. Nebraska can still be top 50, but that is a big departure from where Nebraska has been. So I don't know if this is going to be a more explosive offense, but I think it needs to get a lot more efficient if it's not going to see a huge number of possessions.
Yeah, I think that's the key. And again, there's going to be an identity that's going to need to be established. One, you want to be highly efficient, especially in the red zone. So who's going to be those guys that you really can rely on in the red zone? I think that was an area of struggle in some instances. Because if you look at it, you beat Ohio State if you're red zone efficient. You're there. You got there on multiple occasions. The defense shored up, kept them pretty much in line for the most part of that game. And so for me, who's going to handle on the defensive side in the interior? Who is going to step up and be able to create those opportune moments to that third down? Because that third down and long, there's multiple times throughout the season they weren't able, as you said, to get off the field. And then who you're going to be able to rely on the outside,
right?
What style are you going to play? Because White is not here. That mix and mingle, throw a lot of wrinkles, throw some stuff is not going to be there. So what is Holgorsen? So we're really going to get a real first look at what that's going to look like as well. Not Holgorsen, but
Tony White.
No. The new
John Butler.
John Butler.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting.
No, we knew where you were going. We knew the name just had to get there. Yeah. Get there eventually. Gorilla Bear wants to know, Strick, how much of last year do you attribute to having an inexperienced wide receivers coach holding back the offense?
I said that at the beginning of the year.
You did.
I said I think that's going to be a huge issue. And Kevy, little rope.
Okay.
All right. I thought that was going to be a huge issue with that. And now hopefully you've got that shored up. And again, you've got to require the guys to put in the work to get the time out in the field. It doesn't matter how many snaps you get. Make those snaps.
Make them count.
Make
them worth it.
And, anybody that's not doing less, then it's okay. Hit the transfer portal. I mean, you've really got to get to that point to where you've got to have an expectation of the work that you're trying to accomplish if you're going to get to those best scenario numbers.
Mhm.
You're going to have to have a higher level requirement. You can't just basically say, hey, we're just glad to have you. And at times, I felt that Nayor and those guys just thought I can just show up and I'm good.
Mhm.
Whereas there probably were other guys that you could have thrown in there and got a better
return
out of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Back to
And
our
that's another part.
Hey,
Special teams.
Special teams,
Good
man.
gosh,
Holy
come on,
cow.
man. We need something.
I completely agree. Let's go back to our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line here from Cubsker, who I believe already has a spot locked up for July's BP with DP coming up middle of the month. So get ready for that, Cubsker. He says, personally, I think we will have both a receiver and a running back with 1,000 yards. Maybe I'm drinking early Kool-Aid, but I believe it can be done with this offense. Tricky, I'm not buying 1,000-yard rusher and receiver in the same year for this Nebraska offense quite yet. And I think it's for that reason I told you. Will the defense be able to get off the field? Will the defense give Nebraska opportunities? You would like to think Dylan Raiola would be better. You would like to think more consistent early opportunities for Emmett Johnson will carry over, and he's able to continue to be relatively efficient and getting the ball multiple ways. But until I see this defense get off the field and give the offense more possessions, I think it's a stretch for me to say Nebraska gets both a 1,000-yard receiver and a 1,000-yard rusher in 2025.
I think worst case scenario for me, I would like to see Emmett at 1,000 collective, both in the run and in the passing game.
I could say 1,200 all purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, 750 rush, 450 receiving. I think
Like
that's
that.
attainable.
That's what I would like to see.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter. I don't think Emmett is a bell cow type of guy. I'm interested to see what the running back room is able to put out.
Mhm.
It's going to come sooner than later. We're right on the cusp of football season being right around the corner.
Mhm.
There's going to be a lot of talk and a lot of speculation, but we really don't know.
Mhm.
We really don't know. And then we're going to see in these early parts of the game. But what we don't want to see is the fool's gold.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, you want to see a level of play that's so far and above the early games. And so that way you can kind of weigh it out in your mind as you're playing at that level.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, I remember even Farley stepping in here. I remember when those guys were playing, if they were playing a Troy or a Buffalo or something, they were beating the brakes off of them, and it didn't even look close.
Right.
The defense was, like you said, on and off. The offense, everything was clicking. So you want to see some of that. You don't want to see these hiccups where you're in a close knockout, drag-out game
Mhm.
with a team that you really should be beaten up on. Now, those things can happen because turnovers and certain things can put people
Sometimes the other
games.
team has a day.
Yeah, it can
Mhm.
happen, but you're just hoping that you're clicking and you're focused and your mind is locked in at the task at hand. That your job, whatever your job is.
Completely agree. Let's take our final break of the hour. Farley's still around. We'll bring him on, get his reaction to his batting practice
Are they
round.
using aluminum bats?
Yeah, Nick's using metal right now. I think Kevin brought a metal bat to you. So we'll bring Farley on, get his reaction to his couple rounds of BP, and talk some Major League Baseball home run derby. Is the derby curse real? We got two really good players in it so far, Ronald Acuna Jr. and Cal Raleigh. We will get to that and more to wrap up hour one of On the Block.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through June 29th, get lumberjack pellets for $3.99 when you buy $25 in meat, and a 2-day sale this Friday and Saturday of USDA choice whole boneless ribeye for $13.99 per pound, as well as pork sausage for $1.99 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grotto offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grotto Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Is your child 7 to 8 years old and wanting to get involved in competitive baseball or softball? The Nebraska Dominators have been active in the youth sports community since 1994 and are currently holding tryouts for their 7U and 8U baseball and softball teams. Visit the Nebraska Dominators Facebook page for more info today and provide your player the path to a successful and enjoyable youth sports experience with the help of the Nebraska Dominators.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone and Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln with more exciting news for area car buyers.
Charlie, it's just announced that Honda of Lincoln has won 3 of the Lincoln Journal-Star's Lincoln Choice Awards: Best New Car Dealer, Best Auto Repair, and Best Place to Get Your Oil Changed.
Wow, that's great, Andy. Anything else?
Yes, we were runner-up for Best Pre-Owned Dealer and Best Tire Dealer. A lot of people don't understand that we do sell tires here.
Very exciting, Andy. Why do you think your dealership is winning so many awards?
Charlie, we simply say it's the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business.
Looks like Honda of Lincoln is the great news headquarters for Lincoln.
Yes, and even all of Nebraska, we are also announcing that Honda of Lincoln's the only dealer in the state of Nebraska to win the prestigious Honda President's Award for 2024.
Honda of Lincoln, Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket. The weekend is here, and you and the boys need a place to hang out after your day on the golf course. Lucky for you, that place exists at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill in South Lincoln. The 19th hole at the course is great, but it doesn't have 30 TVs showing all sports with 23 beers on tap. You can enjoy all of that at Liquid Assets, as well as delicious smash burgers, wings, and much more. Don't end your hangout after the golf round ends. Get to Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill at 2755 Jamie Lane.
Hi, I'm Asher on summer break and about to start 2nd grade. Thanks to awesome people like you who picked Aloe Fiber. They donated $193,000 to schools like mine. This summer, I'm using my fast internet to keep learning, and I can't wait to tell my teacher everything I discovered. So if you're a grown-up picking internet, choose Aloe, because Aloe chooses us, our schools, our town, and our future. Go to aloefiber.com to learn more.
Don't wait for Lincoln's fireworks stands to open up. Get the good stuff at Roca Crazy Cracker in downtown Roca. Stop in from June 25th through July 4th for the hot spot for rockets and more this Independence Day. Open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. It's Roca Crazy Cracker Fireworks in downtown Roca.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Back one final time for hour one of the show. It's On the Block. Os Norman, Eric Strickland with you. Joined now by Terrell Farley. What's up, Black Shirt?
What's up, guys?
How was your round? How you feeling?
Oh, man, haven't hit a baseball since I was 13 years old.
You actually did pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, you actually did pretty good. I was quite surprised. At first, your feet was quite planted. They didn't have much.
It was all arm.
It was all arm.
All arm.
But then you kind of, you got back into a rhythm, figured it out, hit a couple nice little ropes.
Oh yeah. I'll do it again though. It's great exercise, great fun. A little hot down there, so you have to watch out about that part of it. But overall, I had fun.
That's what we love to hear. Farley, you are our resident Braves fan, Columbus, Georgia's very own. One of your boys, Ronald Acuna Jr., is in the MLB Home Run Derby. What do you think of that?
I think it's great, especially for the Braves organization. I know that we're having a down year right now, but there's one thing about the Atlanta Braves: you can't cut them, you can't count them out. That's the team that can do some magic at the end of the year and come back from a 10 game deficit. So we're in chill mode right now, and we understand what's important during the second half of baseball because we're in that slump right now. We're winning some, we're losing some, we win some, then we lose more than we win. But the thing is that we got to keep playing baseball because, like I said, it's a 182 game schedule, and every one of them counts. So, but mostly the ones toward the end count the most.
Well, things can shift very quickly, as he said, in baseball. I mean, you can get off to a abysmal start and boom, hit a run, and next thing you know, you're back in the mix. So you're right, being that it is a long season.
I mean, unless I think our main goal is just trying to get to the wild card. I mean, that's probably one of the things we can focus on, keeping in the wild card race and not try to play catch up with the top leaders of the NL.
For sure. Ronald Acuna Jr. announced either earlier this week or late last week that he would be in Major League Baseball's Home Run Derby. Interesting for him. That's a guy who's won an MVP. He's a 4-time All-Star, received MVP votes, enough to count on the ballot 4 separate years. Of course, had that unfortunate injury that he suffered last year, the ACL. He's come back, played in 31 games so far for the Braves. He's got 9 dingers, driven in 18 runs, but he's hitting 369, 485, 658. He's been an incredible player so far for the Braves since he got back healthy. But of course, there's a little bit of a stigma around the Home Run Derby. Does it curse players to participate in the second half? So, Farley, let me ask you, is the Home Run Derby curse real, and are you worried about Ronald Acuna Jr. participating in the Derby?
Well, no, I'm not worried. I never heard of the curse. I mean, I watched it when Sammy Sosa did it, when Barry Bonds did it, when
those were some good ones.
Cecil Fielder and Guerrero, all those guys, and this wasn't a curse back then.
So he's saying it's fiction.
Yeah, it's fiction to me. I mean, I think whoever wins it, I've seen a lot of them. The Big Mac, Mark McGuire. It wasn't a stigma to it or a curse, whatever they say. It was just pure power.
The flip side of that is our first American League representative in the Home Run Derby, Cal Raleigh, leading all of baseball in home runs while playing catcher pretty much every day for the Mariners. And Strick, that is a cursed franchise. They struggle to make the playoffs. They had that 110 wins, 116 win season. They lost before they even made it to the World Series. I'm with Farley. I don't think the curse is real. I think it's just normal regression for these players in the second half of the year. But man, if I'm a Mariners fan and I see my player having this special season, real or not, I'm superstitious and I'm telling my guy back out of that thing.
Basically, Austin is like on the movie Major League. He's got his Joe Boo. He's got his Joe Boo in there with all the incense being lit. Like people do in their mind's eye, they do. Some people. Farley, let me ask you that. In football, did you have some form of a gear, not Kurt, but a gear superstition? You wore like the same tights, or you wore the same wristband or armband, or did you have one of those type of things? Because people do those things. They wear the same jock strap or the same shorts or whatever.
Well, I had the wristband thing going on. I would do on my wrist, I'll do white, red, white. On my other side, I reverse the colors on the other side. It was more like a Dion thing, but that's my signature thing that I did was my wristbands on my forearm and my
Did you get
my
taped
arms.
a certain way, or did you have a routine like that you operated in like pregame in order to get yourself ready?
Pregame, I just didn't want to wear myself out. A lot of guys go hard at pregame and want to tackle real hard like Jay Foreman. You don't want to butt up with him.
What was Jay Foreman's college football rating?
56.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, Jay. If Jay was on college football 26, he used to be like a 56, 58.
Oh,
Jay Foreman, Charlotte Hornets are,
they're back up.
They
They're
seem to
coming
be in the mix, so we'll see.
Speaking of the NBA draft, that's where we're going to pick up in hour 2 of the show. A lot of players with some Nebraska ties got selected yesterday, at least one of them. And then some of the undrafted free agents are in notable positions. We'll talk about that. Take a look at Nebraska's roster as well. Who could be the next Husker selected in the NBA draft? Since Bryce Williams didn't make it, we'll see if anyone on the roster has that potential. Farley on the end, E. Strick, I'm Austin. This is On the Block from Haymarket Park.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Hey guys, you have heard about the Farrell's 10-week challenge for years on the ticket. If you still haven't joined us for this amazing challenge, what are you waiting for? You could be our next $1,000 winner like Derek, who just lost 30 pounds, 23 inches, and 8% body fat. Derek changed his life in the 10-week challenge, and so can you. Farrell's combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to get you the results you have been waiting for. Join us July 12th for the Summer 10-Week Challenge. Go to fxblincoln.com to enroll today.
Is your child 7 to 8 years old and wanting to get involved in competitive baseball or softball? The Nebraska Dominators have been active in the youth sports community since 1994 and are currently holding tryouts for their 7U and 8U baseball and softball teams. Visit the Nebraska Dominators Facebook page for more info today and provide your player the path to a successful and enjoyable youth sports experience with the help of the Nebraska Dominators.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Hi, I'm Asher on summer break and about to start 2nd grade. Thanks to awesome people like you who picked Aloe Fiber. They donated $193,000 to schools like mine. This summer, I'm using my fast internet to keep learning, and I can't wait to tell my teacher everything I discovered. So if you're a grown-up picking internet, choose Aloe, because Aloe chooses us, our schools, our town, and our future. Go to aloefiber.com to learn more.
I want to ride. Do you want to ride? June is officially riding month at Rod's Power Sports, Nebraska's largest volume Honda Power Sports dealership. Come in now and take advantage of huge savings and a great inventory selection during Rod's I Want to Ride celebration days all month long. Simply schedule a qualified demo ride on one of their new Honda motorcycles, ATVs, scooters, or side-by-sides, or purchase a new or used vehicle, and you get a free custom I Want to Ride t-shirt. Plus, all month long, they have 10% discounts on all wearables, parts, accessories, and oil change kits when purchased with a new or used Honda. Free refreshments served each Saturday morning in June. Just show up and say, I want to ride, and they'll fix you up with some free stuff and help you pick out that new ride. Come ride with Rod's Power Sports in Lincoln or online at rodspowersports.com. For your safety, read the owner's manual and always wear a helmet and eye protection. Honda Power Sports vehicles are for riders 16 years and older. Honda recommends that all ATV riders take a training course.
Breathe easier inside your home with Bryant. Eliminate allergens and odors and control humidity too. For a breath of fresh air, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Are you buying a home? Westgate Bank understands that you need to make important decisions during your home buying journey. Our local lenders in Lincoln and Omaha make themselves available so you can get the information you need to know. Use our mobile mortgage app to manage your transaction from pre-qualification to closing, no matter where you are. Get the service and convenience you want from a local community bank where our interest is you. Learn more and visit us online at westgate.bank. Westgate Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
The weekend is here, and you and the boys need a place to hang out after your day on the golf course. Lucky for you, that place exists at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill in South Lincoln. The 19th hole at the course is great, but it doesn't have 30 TVs showing all sports with 23 beers on tap. You can enjoy all of that at Liquid Assets, as well as delicious smash burgers, wings, and much more. Don't end your hangout after the golf round ends. Get to Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill at 2755 Jamie Lane.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service, but it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your County Veteran Service Officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free, so visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
We are going to be dealing with the heat here over the next several days. Looks like we'll see plenty of sunshine for our Friday, all the way up to 94 for a high temperature with a light southeast wind. Tonight, only dropping down to 71 for a low. Sunny and 96 tomorrow before a chance of thunderstorms on Sunday and a high of 95. I'm meteorologist Aaron Downham for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman, middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America, on air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Welcome to it, hour 2 of On the Block, live from Haymarket Park for BP with DP. Some good rounds, some bad rounds, some mediocre rounds, but it's all here for us to talk about because Stricky and I didn't swing because we knew better than that. It is hot outside, even with a little bit of the breeze. We did our part. We held it down here on the radio. 402-464-5685. You want to be a part of the show. I'm Austin. He's Drake. Big thanks to John and Cortland shouting out on our text line. Stop by the station and the stadium today. So good to see you, John. As always, thanks for stopping by. Stricky, let's get to the Nebraska men's basketball news first here, and that is Bryce Williams goes undrafted. I wasn't overly surprised by that. I think you and I in our conversation said, no, he's a fringy second-round type of guy. Some places were having him as maybe one of the better players left as an undrafted free agent that didn't get drafted. But Bryce Williams did end up signing earlier today with the Detroit Pistons on a deal of some sort. Your reaction to Bryce Williams, number one, going undrafted, number two, landing in Detroit?
Well, so there's a couple of things. See, those who are on the outside looking in, when you look at players, so those when they're on the outside looking in, when you look at players, some of the times you look at the fact that, you know, what they did in the conference and the way that they were able to score 30, and you come to realize that it's not all about that, right? Mm-hmm. Because they also look at how were you able to defend? What are some of the what is your gait like? Yes, I know you can shoot, but I'm gonna need you to defend.
Yeah.
Can I trust and rely that because your assignment's not gonna be to get the ball and score 30?
No.
So when they look at it from that standpoint, either you've got to be super athletic, gifted, a bucket with a good mentality and attitude, who can show the ability to have a variety of different skill sets. So for me, for example, right? Yes, although I was a primary scorer at Nebraska, I always knew that one of the things I talk to young players about, Austin, is I tell them, I say, listen, every coach that you're going to play for is going to have a bunch of guys that's going to love to score.
Yeah.
But the way that's going to always and without a question going to get you on the court is if you can stop and you can defend somebody.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that means crucial times of the game. So that shooting free throws, all those things are going to, and not turning the ball over and making those type of mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, Bryce, he showed the possibility, but then his demeanor, he didn't seem to have a change of pace. He didn't seem to have a raw in him, a rah. And from that standpoint, some leadership want to see that. They want to see, how can, if I inject you into this team.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was, I'm going to hound you 94 feet. I'm going to get steals. I'm going to get charges. I'm going to show why it's important for me to stay on this court. I don't think Bryce showed the other side of the why.
Mm.
Yes, he showed the scoring side of the why.
Yeah.
But if you're not a top 10 draft pick, if even higher than that, top 5,
right,
it's very possible you're not going to be the guy that's going to just be getting the ball to do that. So you're going to have to show it. And that's why I think happened with him.
I'm interested to see how Bryce's summer goes, because I think as an older prospect, that's a guy Detroit's probably hoping can come in and compete for a roster spot, maybe not play a bunch of minutes right away. But Strick, as you look up and down who ended up taking the floor for Detroit quite a bit last year, Bryce is not going to supplant Asar Thompson. Not going to happen. Asar Thompson has that elite defensive ability there.
With super athletic.
Incredibly so. But, could Bryce slide in and replace like a Tobias Harris, right? 32, big money deal for him. Tobias Harris averaged 14 points a game, and he ended up shooting 35%, 34.5% from three this year, right? I think Bryce Williams could step in, average 9 or 10 a game, shoot 34, 35% from three, be cheaper, be probably a better secondary ball handler because he had some more of that responsibility.
And they're comfortable with that with Cade.
Very comfortable with that with Cade. Ron Holland is on the roster as a young guy that they really like. But I think in the early going, there's going to be a lot of competition between Bryce Williams and a former Big Ten guy going into his third year, Ron Harper Jr., who is on a two-way for Detroit. Ron Harper Jr. had that definable Rutgers toughness, right? Had a lot of the similar offensive responsibilities that Bryce did. Not as efficient as Bryce was, more brute strength than Bryce's, silky smooth athleticism. I'll give Bryce the nod as the better shooter over Ron Harper Jr. But I think what Ron Harper brings to the table is the same sort of thing that Isaiah Stewart brings to the table, that Asar brings to the table, and that's an edge, right? If Bryce can find that killer instinct as a scorer, develop into a upper 30s to 40% three-point shooter, they can roster him as a break glass in case of emergency. You're not going to kill us defensively. We need a bit of a spark. Go out there and do your job. But I really hope that Bryce can find that mindset to fit in as an undrafted guy, right? Not take it personal that he wasn't drafted, but say, hey, they didn't think I was worthy of a draft pick. I thought I was. I got to develop that edge, and this is that spark for me.
Yeah, because you gotta understand, you gotta take on the persona of the city.
Yeah,
this is why Chauncey Billups. This is why Ben
Wallace.
This is why Tyshawn Prince.
Mm-hmm.
This is why it's because they took on the persona of the city.
Motor City,
hard
baby.
nose, get after you, physical. He's gonna have to either take it on, because I think that's what they're trying to get back to.
I tend to agree. Elsewhere in Nebraska land, not Nebraska specifically, one guy with Nebraska ties that did get drafted, John Tonje out of Omaha Central High School. He goes in the late second round to Utah with pick number 53.
He's the first player drafted since Creighton's Mac, right? Was it Mac? McBuckets?
Creighton's had some other guys close, haven't they? Thought they had.
I don't know. I'm talking about Omaha kid.
Oh, well, McDermott wasn't an Omaha kid. He wasn't born. He was an Iowa guy. He was born in Iowa.
I think there was a one crate. What was it? Patton?
Justin Patton, probably.
Justin Patton,
probably.
It was either Justin Patton or Kyrie Thomas, because I think he went in the second round.
That sounds about right. Yeah, I'm trying to get it pulled up here as we speak. But good for John Tonje, right? Omaha Central guy who was really overlooked. I mean, Colorado State was his first Division I offer. Goes there, just pretty good, pretty solid. Decides to transfer, goes to New Mexico for just a minute, or Missouri for just a minute, then to New Mexico. Doesn't do anything in New Mexico. Within a week, he's in the portal, commits to Wisconsin, where he was one of the leading scorers in the Big Ten. I don't know if I love the fit for him as a kind of scoring-minded guard and a pretty deep and pretty young backcourt for Utah. But what I'll give John Tonje credit for is a couple things, Strick. Number one, the determination, the perseverance to stick through it. And number two, he has an identifiable skill. He is a scorer. He is a bucket getter and not a terrible, atrocious defender, certainly not his calling card by any means. But what I think that John Tonje has over, say, a Bryce Williams right now is I think John Tonje has a more easily identifiable role. You can come off the bench. You can get buckets for us, average 8-9 points a game as a rookie, be a double-digit scorer by year 2 in the league. We think Bryce Williams can do that, but John Tonje proved that he's just wired to score, and I think that helped him maybe move up a draft board or two.
Yeah, I think so. And again, he's got that moxie. He's got that grit.
Mm-hmm.
And, guys want to see that. They want to know that you're capable to do that. Again, Danny Ainge he embodies that.
Mm-hmm.
Still, is diabolical what he did, and even what's going on between them now with Ace Bailey.
Hey, Ace is reporting on Saturday. He's reporting. They worked it out.
Smart. That's actually a smart move. Because Ainge wasn't going to bend. So anyway, you're going to go out there. You're going to have someone that operates with a hard-nosed mentality in what Ainge is putting together and trying to build. You're going to have a chance. I think you're going to have a chance. They're still trying to find themselves, find an identity, obviously getting Ace, having Tanji. If I'm Tanji, I'm going at Ace. I'm trying to, he's your guy, but I'm trying to let you know. That's the same
thing. They got Walter Clayton as well from Florida.
Very similar. So, and he's a shooter. So
big time.
So for him, I'm going at them guys. I'm trying to step up the ladder and show him, even if I have to go to the G League, it's cool. It's the same thing I did. I went after Jason Kidd. I'm saying I want him. So, if he takes that challenge, I think he'll get a chance to get a land a two-way. Again, this is a business now. When you get to that level, you're not just playing for yourself. You're a second-round pick.
Right.
You're going to go to Summer League. You're going to play in Summer League right at home because Utah, I think, has one.
Yep.
You'll probably go to L.A. I don't think you're going to go to Orlando, but I'm pretty sure you'll go to Utah and L.A.
Or Vegas. Utah and Vegas, right?
Vegas.
Yeah.
That's right. See, L.A.
Actually.
And Long Beach.
Right.
But, yeah, Utah and Vegas. But for me, that's where you want to show and prove because you want somebody to jump on the phone and say, yo, what you doing with Tanji?
Yeah.
So you're not playing for yourself because there might be somebody else that like maybe Atlanta or, somebody that might be saying, yo, I like what you got, young fella. Come on down here.
Come this way. Slide on over. A couple other guys that went undrafted with Nebraska ties. We'll start with Millard North, and then we'll get back to your beloved Thunderbirds at Bell West, Stricky. Hunter Salas, undrafted this year. He was a guy that you and I had conversations about last year. Should he pounce on the opportunity after his best year in college, his first year at Wake Forest? Should he come back, try to improve his draft stock? Hunter Salas ends up making the decision to return to Wake Forest. And on the one hand, it might have hurt him, right? He goes undrafted, which wasn't a huge shock at the end of the day. If you look at his numbers this year, his three-point shooting fell back off. Last year, he shot 40.5% from three on 5.5 attempts per game. This year, much closer to his career average, just down at 27% from three-point range. Free throws were better at 80%. Overall, two-point percentage was very comparable to last year. But Hunter Salas does end up getting picked up by the Philadelphia 76ers, which I think is a pretty good spot for him at the end of the day. Because, Strick, I can see him playing a very similar role in Philly as he did at the start of his college career in Gonzaga. They're not going to need him to score. They're not going to need him to do that. He's got to go to the G League and prove again. but he's very similar to VJ Edgecombe, right? Athletic, defense first, kind of developing outside shot. Philly took 2 swings on essentially the same guy, one with the number 3 overall pick and one as an undrafted free agent, Hunter Salas.
Well, yeah, because there were probably, I think, a couple of teams that actually like VJ Edgecombe.
Mm-hmm.
So you get them in camp, you get them in summer league, you get to evaluate them, because for Philly, VJ Edgecombe could become, a tradable asset for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, if he's able to step up, it could be a good option for you to, if somebody's thirsty for what VJ Edgecombe brings to the table. So,
and then you have a cheap in-house replacement right there in Salas.
So sometimes you do that. Sometimes you're not really sure, because really you wanted Ace Bailey, but because he didn't do that, you liked the guy, you liked his character, you liked his the way that he conveyed himself as a young man, and that's good. But can he lace it up and put it out on the floor? So you let them battle it out, and then you make a decision and you make a judgment. You might get on the phone at some point.
It's going to be really interesting to see how Philly ends up using Hunter Salas in the G League. If they lean into him as an on-ball guy like Wake Forest did, where he ran a lot of point, or if Philly says, no, we got our point guard of the future in Tyrese Maxey, maybe he'll be a secondary guy for us, but we really want you to hone in on really defending the other team's best perimeter, score as much as possible, and knock down your open threes, your catch-and-shoot threes. I would love to see the breakdown for Salas on how many of his attempts were self-created off the dribble versus the spot-up variety and what he shot on those. The other guy with Nebraska ties then, Stricky, that went undrafted but signed a contract was Chucky Hepburn from Bell West. Talk about Chucky's journey to being a Toronto Raptor and maybe who you think he needs to emulate to stick in the NBA.
No, so the good thing about Chucky is he can run whatever system you throw at him. The other part is he is going to be a defender that stays on you like a gnat. That you're always he's going to be like that. He needs to improve on the consistency of his 3-point shot, because you don't want him to become Eric Snow. Right. Guys like that, or Andre Miller. Right. You don't want that to happen. So he's got to work on that. He can run any system, and I think it's a good place for him, because I think they'll allow him to learn. They're going to appreciate his defense.
Yeah,
that's for sure. But then the system there, you get out of the country, you don't have any worries. You just go up there and you can focus on the craft. I think even their G League team isn't too far from them, so it's not like you're gonna go a long ways away. So yeah, I like that place for him. I actually like that place for him. It's a place, if you really take it for what it is, you can actually come back well off.
Yeah,
Van Vliet, Lowry,
maybe DeRozan down the road.
Guys, especially at the point guard position, if you go up there and you run that system and you run that, you're going to have scorers, Scotty Barnes and those
RJ
guys.
Barrett, my boy.
You know what I mean? You're going to have guys that you don't have to, which is good for him.
Oh, Brandon Ingram's there too.
Oh, that's
we
right.
forget.
That's
yeah.
Right. So all you got to do is go up there, run the system, defend, be a menace, and then
who does that remind you of? Who does
Alvarado?
he need to be? Who does he need to be?
I would say be a better version. Be a Kyle Lowry.
Okay.
Be a Kyle Lowry. Be a Chauncey Billups, but with more defense.
Fair enough.
Because Chauncey had that early struggle. Going up to Boston and going to Denver, and it didn't really pan out for him until he got up there to Detroit in the right place for you. So be that, because that's what Chauncey was. Be a big shot maker when you got to take it, and be a solid defender and don't make a lot of mistakes. Don't turn it over, and he'll be fine. And I think that's what he does well.
I think we had 2 examples of what Chucky Hepburn maybe can be in the NBA Finals. He's a little smaller than the first guy I'm going to say, in Cason Wallace out of the University of Kentucky, right? Backup, kind of fringe starter, caretaker point guard type behind Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Cason Wallace this year, Strick, averaged 2.5 assists to about 1 turnover per game. There's your 2.5 ratio that you're looking for, kind of out of a caretaker at the point guard position. Cason Wallace scored about 8.5 points on 7 shots per game. Okay, that's decent. What was the volume? He was a 56% shooter from 2, not taking very many self-created ones, but the ones that are there, the ones in transition we think Chucky can do. And then from 3, Cason Wallace's first 2 years has shot 42% and 36%. This year on a slightly higher volume, again, only like 35.6%, but that would be a step up for Chucky Hepburn. If he can get that long-range shot ironed out, he's smaller than Cason Wallace, but I think that same kind of pest backup point guard kind of caretaker role would suit him. I don't think Chucky would ideally want to play in a system this fast, but if the outside shot doesn't come around, that's where you're in TJ McConnell territory. Defensive pest, leader, spark plug, hit the mid-range, the big shot, maybe lead a bench unit. Maybe you're talking like Tyus Jones or Trey Jones territory, something like that. I think there's a path for Chucky Hepburn into the NBA in Toronto.
Yeah, I have to agree. That's I sent them a message a little bit earlier, and I told them the same thing. I said, this is good for you. Go up there and now prove the work.
Last thing here before we call it a segment. I'm going to head out after this one. Got Nick and Jay holding it down with Strick after this. Obviously, Bryce Williams goes undrafted, as does Juwan Gary. Still awaiting news for what the future holds for Juwan Gary in his professional career. But Strick, as you go through the checklist in your mind of players on this current Nebraska men's basketball roster, is there anyone that you think, whether it's this year or in a couple years, has NBA draft potential? I'm not saying they're going to, but is there a guy or two in your mind that could maybe take that leap for Nebraska and become a guy that we're talking about with NBA draft prospects?
On the Nebraska team now?
On this Nebraska roster.
Oh, man, that's...
Well, while you look it up, I mean, I don't think Rink will. I think Rink's kind of a system in college who's not going to be that in the NBA. If Jamarcus Lawrence commits to defense, maybe, but you're kind of in Quentin Grimes territory, and I think Quentin Grimes was an absolute stud. Really, I think Nebraska's...
I'm going to say Kendall Blue.
Okay.
Kendall Blue, with that size, the best thing I think going for Kendall is they're going to let him handle and play and being 6'6", and if you can show that you can run the team, handle the team, and still be an effective scorer, shoot the ball the way that he's capable of, I would say definitely he would probably have a shot at it. I think Jamarcus is probably a little bit too small, and I'm not totally sold that he really wants to play the point guard position fully because he's going to need to. He's me, but I was 218. You know what I mean? I was a bit more physical. He's not going to be able to go in there at that size and be, similar to what I was. But he's going to have to play the point. I had to, So he would be another one.
The one
I think Price maybe.
There we go.
That'd be the other one. Yeah.
I'll speak on Price Sanford a little bit here before we go to break. I think Price Sanford is on kind of the Liam McNeely plan. Now, the problem for McNeely is that he was asked to do a lot more self-creation this year than he was probably ready for as a freshman. But Price Sanford, I mean, yes, Nebraska likes him handling the ball. They think he can do some stuff off the bounce for him, like his brother Peyton, who got picked up as an undrafted free agent as well. Maybe he can, maybe he can't, but I still think the NBA is looking for guys that size, 6'6", 6'7", 200-ish pound range for Price Sanford. His outside shot numbers haven't been great. He's gotten some kind of spotty playing time for Iowa the first couple seasons. But if Price Sanford gets under Fred Hoiberg's tutelage and Nate Lenzer's tutelage, becomes a solid positional defender where he's not going to kill you and shoots 38-39% from 3 in college, I think that's a guy that a lot of teams are interested in taking a flyer on. Maybe it's late first round. He doesn't have quite the prospect pedigree that Liam McNeely did coming out of Montverde and that team that he played on, going to UConn, and all the buzz around that program before slipping all the way down to 29th or 28th in the first round of the draft. But I still think the NBA is really looking for guys like that, especially in the late half of the first round, or a guy to take a flyer on in the second round. Probably not after this year. He's probably 2 years away, I would guess. But if he can come in as a high floor type of prospect with the floor spacing and positional defending, if you ask me right now, I would say Price Sanford is probably my best bet to be an NBA draft pick.
I don't really have anything because my evaluations are really gonna take place as we do what we do, and that's sitting up in that stadium is when I'll be able to truly assess what I see. Like I like by doing so, I was able to tell you what Bryce McGowan's was going to be.
Yeah.
I knew he wasn't going to get drafted in the first round. That's why I think it was a mistake. You know,
but at least to his credit, he did get drafted. I mean, Hunter Salas didn't. It goes both ways.
Yeah, no. But the thing is he hasn't been able to emerge out of it.
Right.
So it would have been better to kind of get it here because they have an expectation when you get there. The expectation is
be ready.
When you get on the floor, we don't got all this time to be, raising
learning.
You up. You know what I mean? It takes like stuff like I did. It's going to take him to, get with like I did with
Kiki.
With Kiki, say, hey Kiki, I watched you. Kobe, it's well known that Kobe would get with Reggie and say, yo, you watched your film and I see you do this and show me. He gets, working on his post game. He gets with Elijah, and look, it costs.
It does.
So you got to be willing, to do that. Whether Bryce is willing to do that, I don't know, but. Guys like that. Even myself, I said, I like Bryce, but there's some things about his moxie that, he doesn't really have, and I still think he plays too upright. And don't think they don't see that stuff. Like they're saying, with the play that's going to be required of you physically, you're not going to be able to get by guys if you're, you
straight up. No,
it's not going to happen. You're going to get thrown off and off bat. When you remember some of the things we talked about, attacking the rim, that sweet, cute, pretty stuff, that ain't gonna work. That stuff's getting tossed to the third.
You gotta have bad intentions.
You gotta have bad intentions. When you attack, you gotta say, move, get out the way. You gotta have that type of mentality. That's what it is. So, yeah.
Need a place to hang after you hit the links this weekend? Head to Liquid Asset Sports Bar and Grill at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln. They've got 30 TVs showing all the Major League Baseball games and golf, 23 beers on tap, a distinct high-end bourbon and whiskey bar, and an incredible menu of burgers, sandwiches, and more, plus a chocolate chip cookie skillet for dessert. That's Liquid Assets at 2755 Jamie Lane. We are out here at Haymarket Park for BP with DP. Our fellows rounds are done. The Salt Dogs are on the field getting their swings in. Now, I'm going to head out. Eastrick and a smattering of ticket personalities will carry you through the rest of On the Block and Old School. More On the Block right after this.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Is your child 7 to 8 years old and wanting to get involved in competitive baseball or softball? The Nebraska Dominators have been active in the youth sports community since 1994 and are currently holding tryouts for their 7U and 8U baseball and softball teams. Visit the Nebraska Dominators Facebook page for more info today and provide your player the path to a successful and enjoyable youth sports experience with the help of the Nebraska Dominators. Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Husker fans, the 2025 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need your support in the Sea of Red at Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $185. This plan includes a ticket to USC plus Akron or Houston Christian and either Michigan State, Northwestern, or Iowa. Tickets are only available while supplies last. Purchase your Husker football and 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The weekend is here, and you and the boys need a place to hang out after your day on the golf course. Lucky for you, that place exists at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill in South Lincoln. The 19th hole at the course is great, but it doesn't have 30 TVs showing all sports with 23 beers on tap. You can enjoy all of that at Liquid Assets, as well as delicious smash burgers, wings, and much more. Don't end your hangout after the golf round ends. Get to Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill at 2755 Jamie Lane. Don't wait for Lincoln's fireworks stands to open up. Get the good stuff at Roca Crazy Cracker in downtown Roca. Stop in from June 25th through July 4th for the hot spot for rockets and more this Independence Day. Open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. It's Roca Crazy Cracker Fireworks in downtown Roca.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service, but it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free, so visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Raising Cane's is the only fuel I need. Their chicken fingers always fill my tank. So when I'm running on fumes, I always refuel at Raising Cane's. But turns out, not everything's fueled by Cane's. Guess the old girl prefers her sauce unleaded. One love.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you buying a home? Westgate Bank understands that you need to make important decisions during your home buying journey. Our local lenders in Lincoln and Omaha make themselves available so you can get the information you need to know. Use our mobile mortgage app to manage your transaction from pre-qualification to closing, no matter where you are. Get the service and convenience you want from a local community bank where our interest is you. Learn more and visit us online at westgate.bank. Westgate Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Welcome back to On the Block with Jay and Stricky. Austin Orman had to dip out for a minute. We're still here. BP is still going on out here down at Haymarket Park. It is blazing hot, but it is beautiful in the shade. If you want to come down here and check out a game, you would truly enjoy it because it is definitely feels good on the outside instead of in this suite. Would you agree?
Yes, but I will tell you, though, if you could get a little bit of a, since it's not the longest day in summer anymore, we're the days are getting shorter. Once that nighttime hits, the game starts a little bit, it'd be beautiful. You got a little bit of a wind out there, so it'll cool it off, but I think right now it's the last bit of blazing heat.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Jay, there's something I saw, and I think we kind of mentioned it and talked about it before. As we have, we'll talk about a couple things within this segment, but I want to start with this because I don't think it's going to be a long segment. If you want to join in, 402-464-5685 on the Starter Heyman text line. But check it out, Jay. I was watching Florida State. I can't remember the team that they were playing. Mm-hmm. And they were let up in what you guys had to do or was able to do quite frequently, which is the victories.
That's the best victory formation. That's the best play ever.
Right?
Right.
So they set up in victory formation, and they absolutely run an amazing play in a normal sense of the game.
Right.
Is there a time and place for that, or is that a potential setup for people to get hurt? Because usually in victory formation, everybody's been taught to chill. Because it used to be, you would kind of get in there and butt your head, and then it kind of made people chill out. Now people are throwing these wrinkles in the. Talk to me about.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like in the NBA. I think remember when that small college played Kansas, and Kansas was running out the clock at 4 corners, and he stole it and dunked it. I think there's a unwritten rule at that point in time. If the opposing team, or if I'm in the victory formation, the game's over, right? Now, you remember back when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had Greg Schiano, they were doing the dive at it, trying to cause a fumble. Technically you can within one score. Way back in the day, Strick, the Giants against the Philadelphia Eagles ran a dive play when they should have probably done victory formation. They fumbled it. Herman Edwards returned it, and won the game. Now, that's a rivalry game you play to the bitter end. But I think in Florida State's case, what you're talking about, I think you run a play like that if there's something personal that's been going on, during the game. Say like a lot of late hits, or crossing that line, right? And so in the NBA terms, a lot of hard unnecessary fouls. You know what I'm saying? Or you're going to the hoop, and remember when Jeff Teague just pushed LeBron, like stuff that could injure you, right?
Yeah.
So now,
or what did they do? Who was that got pushed when he was going up for the dunk? Was that Project P?
Yeah.
And he flew into the stanchion?
Right. That stuff is when, if it's football terms, if you've been doing a lot of that, then just to rub it in your face, you might run it. But I do think, and I'm in agreement with you, when you're in victory formation, guys are letting up. A lot of times, Strick, to be honest with you, guys unbuckle the chin strap, take their mouthpieces out if they do wear them. I know in college you're supposed to wear them. Is that play really worth potentially somebody getting hurt? And it doesn't necessarily have to be a huge injury, right? The difference between being hurt and injured is injured, you can't play. Hurt is, you can play, or you might be out for a short amount of time. Is it really worth potentially hurting another player or one of your players?
Right.
Because
the risk of it, right?
Right. The risk doesn't.
Guys jumping over and the quarterback.
Right. It's no different to say the few times that when Greg Schiano in Tampa Bay used to do it, a quarterback could get hurt. Your franchise guy could be hurt.
Yeah.
And then you think, okay, well, I'll bring him my backup to do it, right? Well, what if he fumbles a snap?
Yeah.
At that point in time.
Yeah, because they used to do that too from the nose guard position, right?
Right. Dive at
the ball and get it.
And in that perspective is not what that's against I guess the unwritten rules, and that's where that's a coaching thing. I get it. You want to tell players you're going to play all 60 minutes and all that, but in this case, I think college football players, now that they're getting paid, they're professional athletes, right? And I think NFL and the NBA and all those, that's entertainment. So now that they're pros, you got to start looking out for each other.
Yeah.
And if you're down, if there's 30 seconds left, or however, if you got Victor Neal, you got 2 or 3 plays, that's essentially under 2 minutes, right? You got the first down. There's no way you can stop the clock.
And depending on where the score is,
right? And say if you're within 1 score, I can understand it.
Yeah.
But if you're within 1 score or down 1 score, and you don't have any timeouts, there's nothing that you can do, because essentially right there, I think you just know. Everybody knows what you're supposed to do and not to do. In this situation,
so it's an etiquette type of thing.
Yes,
Jay.
you know that.
Yeah.
It's just like in the NBA, right? Say you're running out the clock, and you go dunk it.
And when they got on not John Morant, but Zion for that,
right,
they almost got in there.
Right. They chased him down there because it's an unwritten rule. You don't want to embarrass anybody, and then in the NFL, you don't want to hurt anybody. It's no different than running the score up or throwing the ball late when you're up by 2 or 3 scores.
Or they do this sometimes. I don't know what this means in baseball, but they fake like they're going to do an intentional walk.
Right. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they throw.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably like
that's strategy, though.
That's strategy. Mm-hmm. But the things that you're not supposed to do, everybody knows. Everybody's been in this game long enough, and everybody's been all the way back from high school. They do victory kneel in Little League.
Yeah.
So the rules of what not to do and to do, but I'd hate to see somebody get hurt over some stupid play, no matter how well it's drawn up schematically.
So one other thing came up, Jay, that we'll be brief on, but I would like we ain't gonna go top 10.
Right.
We're gonna go maybe your top 5. Give me maybe your top 5 or top 3 dunkers in the NBA
right now
all time.
Oh, of all time. In game, like in game. So there is a difference. In game dunker. It's hard for me to say that there was ever a better in game dunker than Dominique Wilkins. He was vicious,
hard,
and
vicious,
right?
And he would make guys on the bench jump up.
Right.
Just how hard he dunked.
Right now, Then you got some guys like that. Obviously,
I have to throw Blake Griffin in that.
That's my next guy I was gonna say.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Because I think Blake was a different dunker because he was 6'8", 6'9".
That dunk he did where he went up and he was so high and he just threw it in.
And look, man, you can Jordan and LeBron too. Their dunks were sitting, especially Jordan
in game.
Because Jordan had a hit list. I'm telling you.
Tell you, I'm gonna dunk on you today.
He got Mutombo. Who did he get? Tree Rollins. What's the dude? He got Mark
Ewing.
Mark Eaton.
He got Dikembe.
Yeah, Dikembe. But he got Mark Eaton.
Morning.
He got everybody.
Man.
And then he would do the one when he would be outside the free throw line and time it up to miss and dunk it. So I mean, there's some in-game dunkers, man. But I think Dominique Wilkins just looked like he was mad at everybody at the rim.
I'm gonna throw a wrench in your program. I saw him live and in color. Vince Carter.
Yeah, that's
Lord have mercy. In game two. Listen, Jay, let me tell you one thing before you explain. I'm in Dallas. We're playing Toronto. Got a nice little steal.
Yeah.
Vince alone. So you don't know if he's gonna windmill it.
Right.
He's gonna bring it to his ankles.
Yeah.
You don't know what he's gonna do. He does a reverse 360 Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember seeing it. Yeah, he's the thing about Vince, his personality gets him overlooked, but he's up there with Don. He just had a different. He was powerful. He was graceful.
Right.
And then it was crazy.
And he had the hang time.
Right. When he jumped over old buddy in the Olympics from Greece.
Vice.
Right. Yeah.
Frederick Vice.
Yeah, he was. But you know who else though? Since we're talking about the in-game dunker. Yeah. And I like it because it was Rudy Donovan when him and Coutinho one shake. Steve Francis will bam on you too.
Oh yeah, he got.
And
me.
he was a little dude.
He's one of the only ones that got
me. But
I tried to step in and take a charge. Bad move.
Yeah, and when Steve Francis was right, he was cold blooded.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I gotta say actually Giannis in game too.
Yeah.
Giannis in game, he posterized.
Yeah, and because that's how he started his game, just pretty much running and dunking and but
you give no credence to Clyde.
I mentioned Clyde. Clyde, but you remember this name though back in the
Doc?
Day. Yeah, he's the original. He the OG.
Hey, Rockabye baby.
Rockabye baby. But Jerome Kersey too.
You know what? Jerome Kersey would go get you
on the break. Remember, because on the break he'd get out wide and it would be like once he got going, because he was a big dude.
Yeah. The one that you don't remember though.
Was Sean Kemp.
Whoa!
Sean Kemp.
Sean Kemp and
Tom
y'all don't
Chambers.
remember Dr.
Daryl Dawkins.
No, him too.
Yeah.
But he was, I think he was in Denver. What was it? David Thompson.
Oh, he's the original. He's the original.
Come get you.
Yeah,
right.
The original.
Right.
He was the bridge between Dr. J and Jordan.
Right.
But his explosive hops, like if he was now, his dunks would be as big or bigger than Zion's when he was coming up through the AAU ranks. That's how impressive his dunks were.
You know, in break situation, but just with meanness.
Yeah.
It didn't look like it, but he would go get you is Charles Barkley.
Oh yeah.
Charles.
Young Charles is dunking on everybody.
Boy.
And don't sleep on Tom Chambers either.
No. When he put the knee in the mouth, pause.
Yeah.
And yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. He rose to the occasion on that one.
Yeah. But you know who's probably one of the angriest dunker in this era is your boy AC that played at Baylor, that played for the Knicks, and all. That's all he did was dunk. I'm gonna send it to you. He was like Ron Artest when he hit James Harden. That's what he did. He would dunk on people and then Debo. Yeah, but because his range, you know how they put the shot chart up? It's all around the rim.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then old boy, that was he's actually from Charlotte, North Carolina. He played at Louisville, and he played with the Clippers. And he was about 6'8", and he played center. He just retired. I actually just saw him. He could dunk too, man.
Bro, the last one before we go to break, I saw him up close and personal too, and I had to say, ooh wee. His name was Stromile Swift.
Yeah. He won the dunk contest, right?
Bruh.
He won it, though, right?
Yeah. One time, I think, back in the day.
Right, when he was in Memphis.
Bruh.
I want to ask you this before
he
we go
goes to the heavens.
Yeah, he was 6'9", though.
6'9".
Let me ask you this, Strick. Okay, it's no different than when, like, I know what it's like when you get shook in the open field or the receiver get blown up. What's it like when somebody, like, say, like, I get dunked on? Would you just like, it's all right, dog? Or would it? Or you just let it just let it slide?
It's easier on the court than it is off the court.
Well, see, that you get dunked on and then you go to the bench. Say I get dunked on and I get subbed out. What you saying if you wait?
The initial response is the hard part.
That's what I'm saying.
You're sitting on the bench because you like, oh, you do one of those.
Yeah.
But then your coach looking at you sideways. But then when you get over there and you don't really talk to him during the game.
Yeah.
You wait till afterwards.
Or
film, similar to y'all, in film or when you're riding on the bus or on the plane.
That's the
You're
worst.
like,
I will tell you, if you get blown up or you get shook,
waiting
that, I don't know when you guys watch that 24 to 48 hours.
Depending on coming. You know it's coming.
You hope that the team meeting goes long. So the defensive meeting, the film review, especially if it's late in the game, all right, just watch the rest on your own.
Your coach, who's that guy that does the memes about
Mr. Go 30? Mr. Go 30.
He be faking like he did it.
That's Mr. Go 30.
That's how it be in the film.
Man. I'm telling you, cats will clown you, man. There ain't nothing like it, man.
Oh, man, there it is. Great stuff. We're going to get out of here for one last break in the last segment here on The Block. We'll be right back here at Haymarket Park live and in color right after this.
Follow Austin Strick and On The Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On The Block 93.7. More of On The Block coming up.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Are kids better off in an intact family? You bet they are. This is Joe Cordell of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. Kids living in a household with married parents do better in school, they're emotionally healthier, and they're more likely to stay out of trouble with the law. If you're in a troubled marriage, of course you should do everything you can to save your marriage, if only for your kids' sake. This includes considering alternatives to divorce. Of course, in some circumstances, divorce is unavoidable. In either case, if you're a man facing a crisis in your marriage, let us help you at Cordell & Cordell. Remember, we're the partner men can count on.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln, Cordell & Cordell, 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska, 68508.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
We are going to be dealing with the heat here over the next several days. Looks like we'll see plenty of sunshine for our Friday, all the way up to 94 for a high temperature with a light southeast wind. Tonight, only dropping down to 71 for a low. Sunny and 96 tomorrow before a chance of thunderstorms on Sunday and a high of 95. I'm meteorologist Aaron Downham for 93.7 The Ticket and TicketFM.com.
Husker fans, the 2025 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need your support in the Sea of Red at Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $185. This plan includes a ticket to USC plus Akron or Houston Christian and either Michigan State, Northwestern, or Iowa. Tickets are only available while supplies last. Purchase your Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone and Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln with more exciting news for area car buyers.
Charlie, it's just announced that Honda of Lincoln has won 3 of the Lincoln Journal-Star's Lincoln Choice Awards. Best New Car Dealer, Best Auto Repair, and Best Place to Get Your Oil Changed.
Wow, that's great, Andy. Anything else?
Yes, we were runner-up for Best Pre-Owned Dealer and Best Tire Dealer. A lot of people don't understand that we do sell tires here.
Very exciting, Andy. Why do you think your dealership is winning so many awards?
Charlie, we simply say It's the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business.
Looks like Honda of Lincoln is the great news headquarters for Lincoln.
Yes, and even all of Nebraska, we are also announcing that Honda of Lincoln's the only dealer in the state of Nebraska to win the prestigious Honda President's Award for 2024.
Honda of Lincoln, Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. To honor the new store opening, A1 is offering $25 off any service over $300, $50 off services over $500, and $75 off services that total over $750, all through July 31st. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Are you buying a home? Westgate Bank understands that you need to make important decisions during your home buying journey. Our local lenders in Lincoln and Omaha make themselves available so you can get the information you need to know. Use our mobile mortgage app to manage your transaction from pre-qualification to closing, no matter where you are. Get the service and convenience you want from a local community bank where our interest is you. Learn more and visit us online at westgate.bank. Westgate Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Don't wait for Lincoln's fireworks stands to open up. Get the good stuff at Roca Crazy Cracker in downtown Roca. Stop in from June 25th through July 4th for the hot spot for rockets and more this Independence Day. Open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. It's Roca Crazy Cracker Fireworks in downtown Roca. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
We're back. Final segment here. We'll be real short, but I just want to talk about the gangster of love in the NBA. And right now, the gangster of love, you've heard, what's his name? Al Pacino say hello to my little friend.
Yeah.
We know what the gangster movies are. We saw Nino Brown step in there and say, sit your $5 down before I make change, right?
Oh, yeah.
Danny Ainge right now is the gangster of love. This is alleged. We don't know the inside scoop. This is something I heard. It is alleged. Okay. Danny Ainge pulled another gangster move similar to what he did in order to land Tatum. He makes you think he gonna go one way and he hits you with the 3-card Monty. Where you think you're about to make the money, they let you make the money up front, but then all of a sudden, and everything disappears.
Yeah.
Your money gone.
Yeah.
Word on the street is Danny Ainge basically said there was a deal that was supposed to be made between Charlotte and DC. We know that Ace Bailey wanted to go to DC, and what was going to happen is DC was going to take Knipple, and in that manner, Charlotte was going to take Ace Bailey. They didn't want Ace.
Right.
They wanted Knipple. The deal was locked and stocked. Danny Ainge jumps on the megaphone and says, yo, if you try to do that move, I'm taking Knipple at 5. Wait a minute. X blow up the whole thing. And then next thing you know, they take Knipple at 4. It leaves the door open for them to take 5. That's a gangster move. And now all of a sudden things has worked out. It looks like Ace Bailey, who was saying he was not on his way, is on his way to Utah. Is that a gangster move?
It's a gangster move, and then also Danny Ainge know who in the league he can pimp and who he can't. You got to think when you look at both of those organizations, both of the GMs are relatively young, and also relatively young and inexperienced of dealing with that type of pressure at that up there in the draft. When the Washington Wizards took Star last year, that was a foregone conclusion because he was the one with the highest ceiling. Danny Ainge did it, and I wonder if it was in conjunction to potentially with his agent. And for a young kid to say that he didn't want to go to Utah is interesting. It's the NFL equivalent of a kid saying that I don't want to go to a cold weather
or
team.
Green Bay.
Right.
Right.
You got to go play other places.
Yeah.
And really, when you're a rookie, you're not even doing anything in Utah or Salt Lake City, and you don't really have an off season.
Yeah.
So you're
too young to be doing anything.
Right. You can't go nowhere, and you fit right into society. But I think Danny Ainge has experience doing it, and Danny Ainge has recovered from one of the most iconic bench situations when Robert Horry threw the towel in his face. Now look at him now.
Mm-hmm. There it is. The new gangster of love of the NBA.
And he got Robert Horry up out of there, too.
Show you right.
You got to watch Danny Ainge.
Watch Danny Ainge.
Yeah.
Danny Ainge will pull the plug on you.
Yeah.
There it is. That'll close us out right here. You know where we are, live at the Haymarket Park. It is E. Strick and Jay. Our boy Austin had to dip out and handle some business, but we'll see y'all on lunes, and that's Spanish for Monday, right here on the block. Next up is the old school man, Jay Foreman, and Tricky Nicky will be in the seat. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.